is an absolute honor to welcome the President of the United States.
It's a big crowd and a good-looking crowd. The weather is perfect. Who arranged the weather? Right? Good job. Can everybody please give a big round of applause for Shannon for the great introduction? Please give a round of applause to my great friend, your former governor, Ted Strickland's in the house. And your outstanding mayor, Paul Wheel, is here. And of course, all of you are here. I came here today because I heard you've got a pretty fun football team to watch. Undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. A shot at the MAC championship. Maybe a BCS bid. I just want to point out that I was pushing for a playoff system. We got a playoff system. One more promise kept for those of you who are following college football. But it is outstanding. The Bobcats are doing so well, so I want to wish you guys luck in the upcoming seasons. I also came here today, Ohio, because I want your vote. I want your vote. I am not too proud to beg. I want you to vote. The good news is you can vote in Ohio right now. Find out where at vote.barackobama.com. If you live nearby, you can vote just a few blocks away at 15 South Court Street. 15 South Court Street. Everybody knows where that is. If not, find out. I know a bunch of folks are meeting there at 3 p.m. tomorrow to vote together. So, what do you say, Ohio? Can you grab some friends, go vote? Go vote. See, my assumption is if you're here, you're going to vote. So you got to go back to your dorm, grab that guy who's sitting there eating chips watching Sports Center. Tell him he's got to vote too. I love you back. Now, yeah, we had our second presidential debate last night. You know, I'm still trying to get the hang of this thing. But there are a couple of things that I noticed that keeps on recurring in this debate and during the course of this campaign. Governor Romney continues to run around talking about his 5-point plan for the economy. Wait. Don't boo, vote. But as we saw last night, the 5-point plan really boils down to 1 point. Folks at the very top get to play by a different set of rules than you do. So they can pay lower taxes, they can use offshore accounts, they can buy a company, load it up with debt, lay off the workers, strip away the pensions, send the jobs overseas, and still make a big profit doing it. It's the same philosophy that's been squeezing middle-class families for over a decade. It's the same philosophy that got us into this mess. And I've seen too much pain and struggle here in Ohio and all across the country to let us go down that path again. We cannot grow this economy from the top down. We grow it from the middle out. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. That's why I'm running for a second term for president. And that's why I want your vote. So he's trying to sell you on this 5-point plan. Then he tries to take another stab at trying to sell you on his $5 trillion tax cut that favors the wealthy. He says, it's not going to raise the deficit. I'm going to lower taxes for middle-class folks. We're not going to in any way give a tax break to the well-to-do folks, even though he said during the Republican primary he was going to cut taxes for the top 1%. Then when you ask him, all right, if you're going to pay for all this, how are you going to pay for it? Couldn't tell you. Said he was going to pay for it by cutting Planned Parenthood and Big Bird. That's what he said. And then, you know, when you keep on pressing him, he says, I said I was going to do it. I was a businessman, so you should just take my word for it. Here's a tip. When a politician tells you that he's going to tell you what he's going to do after the election, but he can't tell you now, it's not because the plan's so good that he doesn't want to let you in on it. It's not because he wants to give you this great surprise later on. It's because he knows it won't work. Everybody who has looked at this tax plan of his says he can't pay for it without either blowing up the deficit or by raising taxes on middle-class families. Don't move. Vote. So then Governor Romney says, well, I've got a plan to create 12 million jobs in the next 4 years. My guy here said in China. Now, when folks started going through these numbers, his jobs plan fell apart even faster than his tax plan. The Washington Post called it bait and switch. Bait and switch. I mean, here's a guy who's part of his tax plan is to give tax breaks to companies that are shipping jobs overseas. He's invested in companies that were called pioneers of outsourcing. Does that sound like a 12 million job plan to you? That's the right answer. So, let's recap here. He's got a tax plan that doesn't add up. He's got a jobs plan that doesn't create jobs. He's got a deficit plan that doesn't reduce the deficit. You've heard of the New Deal, Ohio. You've heard of the Fair Deal. Mitt Romney's trying to sell you a sketchy deal. But we're not buying it. We know better because this is the same sketchy deal that we were sold back in the previous administration. We tried it. It didn't work. We're not going back. We're moving forward. I need you to finish what we started. That's why I'm asking for your vote. That's why I'm running for a second term as President of the United States of America. The issue of keeping promises came up. So I had to remind people. 4 years ago I promised to end the war in Iraq, and I did. I said we'd end the war in Afghanistan, and we are. I said we'd refocus on the terrorists who actually attacked us on 9/11. And bin Laden is dead. Four years ago, I promised to cut taxes for middle-class families. and we have by $3,600. I promised to cut taxes for small business owners, and we have 18 times. I said we'd put an end to taxpayer-funded bailouts. We got every dime back that we used to rescue the banks, and we passed a law to end those bailouts for good. As Shannon just told you, I promised to pass health reform so that your insurance companies can't jerk you around, so that young people can stay on their parents' plan until they're 26, so that people with pre-existing conditions can get health insurance, so that women aren't being charged for men for the same insurance. I promised we'd repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Because my attitude is anybody who's willing to serve our military and sacrifice for us, it shouldn't matter who they love. When Governor Romney said we should let Detroit go bankrupt,